Welcome everybody to podcast number. Holy cow, Nelson! What is that? When does that go off?
I don't know.
Is that your seatbelt thing?
Maybe.
Okay. I can't. You can't. We can't do anything around here. That's why we don't have nice things. Okay, so welcome to podcast number 208. We're with Nelson Atagi here today. We're going to talk about 6 seconds. Stay with us.
This is the Elevate Construction Podcast, delivering remarkable content for workers, leaders, and companies in construction wanting to take their next step. Get ready to step out of your comfort zone with Jason Schroeder as he encourages you to do better, live a remarkable life, and expect more. Let's go.
Welcome everybody. Hey Nelson, you want to say welcome to anybody?
Hi, guys.
Is that it?
Oh, welcome. I'm excited to be here.
I love it. Okay, so we've got a really neat topic. He gave a speech the other night at our boot camp campfire that just blew me away. And the topic, I'm going to just go ahead and give it away. It's about 6 seconds. And I've asked him if he could do a little podcast here with me. So we're going to have a lot of fun today. But first, just to kind of intro everything, I usually talk about what I'm excited about in life. So Nelson, what are you excited about in life right now? Anything?
Oh man, I'm just having a good time with life right now. I feel like with my family, my wife, my kids. That's what's important to me, and that's what I feel like I'm excited about.
Yeah.
The kids are growing older and they're doing cool things, and they're just being them, and watching them grow is awesome.
You know, when it's good when it comes to marriage, right? You know, because, and here's the secret, and Nelson will tell you this too, all of us, all marriages, even the people that you respect the most, and even if any of you listening to this podcast, all marriages have hard times, but the payoff is so worth it, just like Nelson's talking about. So if you're 70 and you're like, yeah, my old man, my old lady, my partner, whatever, we're still having a hard go of it, it ain't too late. Would you agree with that?
No,
not at all. It's not worth it. Marriage
relationships can always be worked on.
Oh yeah. No. No, we went backwards. No, you're right. It's never too late. You're saying too late. You answered the question right. So Nelson talks a lot about being a family man. He's a jamming individual. So the other thing is we're getting lots of good feedback. I'll share that with you next week. Just to signpost some things we're doing next week. We got some more interviews. We got some lean podcasts. I'm going to pull up some really good culture building podcast topics next week. So we're going to have a great podcast week next week. Lots of great things happening, but let's get on to Nelson's story. So can you jam it out and take us to where we want to go here?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think the story that Jason is referring to that I shared was something that meant a lot to me when I heard it. So this story was given by General Kelly of the U.S. Marines. General Kelly was speaking to some Gold Star recipient families who had given their lives in the line of duty. And he shared this story about what happened in Ramadi in 2008. 2 battalions had just come in, and one just came in, and the other one was headed out. And they had 1 Marine from each battalion going to the gates at this particular location, and they were just swapping out the guard for the evening. And the commanding officer basically just said, hey, look, you know what your duty is? It's to not let any unauthorized personnel or vehicles into the gate tonight. And so they obviously responded, yes, sir. You know, we know our duty. We'll get her done. And so these 2 gentlemen, and I apologize for not knowing their rank, Jonathan Yale and Jordan Herder, went out and they stood their post along with a few other Iraqi soldiers that were at this location as well. Behind them slept another 100 Iraqi soldiers and another 50 U.S. Marines. And as they slept, this truck suddenly appeared at the end of the alley, turned the corner, and started barreling down the alleyway, running through the serpentine barrier and just kept speeding up. At that time, the Marines decided that they would open fire and knew what they had to do. The Iraqi soldiers started firing. At the end of as you can imagine, at the end of the firing, the explosion happened and devastation happened. 24 masonry buildings were destroyed. A mosque that was 100 yards away dropped to the ground. But only 2 people died. And as General Kelly continues this story, he talks about how he interviewed Iraqi soldiers that saw what happened. Some of the witnesses said, "We knew what was going to happen, and we all ran." But these 2 soldiers stood their ground. I apologize. Oh, yeah. They stood their ground, and they did what was necessary. General Kelly continues to go on about how they found footage of this incident. And he watched the footage over and over and over again. And he did an analysis on the seconds. And he said it took 6 seconds from the time the truck turned the alley to the time it exploded. He stated that the first second, the soldiers didn't talk. They knew what was happening. Within that first second, they raised their weapons and they started firing. The next 2 seconds, they continued firing. The Iraqi soldiers fired for those 2 seconds also and then left. And the next 2 seconds, after 3 seconds, the next 2 seconds leading up to 5, these gentlemen did not move and continued firing upon this vehicle by themselves. They didn't think about anything other than their duty. They were trained to do so. In that last second, the explosion happened and the camera goes dark. General Kelly continues to talk about 6 seconds and the amount of time it takes for 6 seconds to pass by and what we're doing with those 6 seconds. What these 2 gentlemen did for 6 seconds. In those 6 seconds, they received eternal glory for their service of men and women who were sleeping. They did their duty and they gave. And so when I heard that story, I was just baffled. I was baffled at how many times that 6 seconds passes by. How often do we forget that our kids are there? How often do we forget that our spouse is there? How often do we forget that a coworker or someone that we're acquainted with is suffering? When all it really should take is 6 seconds to make a quick phone call. 6 seconds to just say, "Hello, how are you?" and listen. 6 seconds of just a prayer for someone else. 6 seconds is not a long time. I've been speaking for minutes now. And in that minute, you could have called someone. So that's the story of 6 seconds for me and what it means to me. And I appreciate you letting me share that story.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate it a ton because it's brought things full circle to me. I've read numerous things scientifically that says your brain will talk you out of something in 4 seconds. more or less. And when you brought up the point, your kids or dancing with your kids or calling your wife or asking somebody how they're doing and really caring, or you see somebody doing something unsafely, your brain is going to talk you out of it. No, I'm too busy. No, I'm too tired. No, I'm upset. No, I don't want to upset that worker and say something, right? And to your point, it takes 6 seconds to make a difference, but it takes 4 seconds for your brain to talk you out of it if, to your point, you're not committed now to decide that you're going to do it, and it's a predetermined decision, just like it was for those two wonderful men. And so the challenge that I'm getting, that I just got listening to you, because I've heard this story 3 times now, it's impactful every time, is that have I decided today to not decide within those 6 seconds, but to use the 6 seconds because I've already decided to do the right thing to others and to give. You think you'd want to add to that?
No, I think that's such a true point, right? These Marines, servicemen and women all over the world, they are trained in the decision they're going to make at that time. They don't have time to make the decision. They know exactly what needs to happen because they've trained themselves to do so. And I agree with you. When we train ourselves to decide or give ourselves the decision already, we're training ourselves to say no or yes, I'm going to do that right now.
Yeah,
I agree.
And so my message, and I'd like you to close out with your message. This won't be a super long podcast, but I think that the story stands in and of itself. We all have that time. We got 2 things. We've got our agency to decide who we're going to be and how we're going to act, and who we're going to protect and how we're going to give. And then we have either the 4 seconds to be talked out of it or the 6 seconds to make a world of difference. And what I would say is that there's no reason, and this is the theme of boot camp. Nelson and I are hosting a boot camp right now and having a great time. That's why you hear the heater in the background. We're out in his truck while the participants are inside and outside, literally deciding right now in this camp to change their lives and to use every amount of time, all of their seconds, their 6 seconds to make a difference. The bottom line is there's no reason to not live a remarkable life. And there's no reason for us to not allow, enable, support, teach, encourage, pray for, and serve other people so that they can use their 6 seconds. And I feel like that's the message that I'm taking with me today and the challenge that I'd like to issue to everybody listening. And go ahead, Nelson, close it out. What would be your closing message?
My message is, we all fall into some ruts with things of this nature. Sometimes we forget, and that's okay. But the important thing is that we remember. And when we do remember, that we make those changes, and we strive to be perfect with them. We strive to make phone calls, and we strive to care and be there for people. Because a building that we build, a whatever it is you may do, a case you may be working on as a lawyer, they all mean nothing if we don't take care of the people we work with, the people that we live with, the people that mean the most to us. So take the time, 6 minutes or 6 seconds, whatever it may be, and show your care.
Okay. On the count of 3, let's say on we go. 1, 2, 3, on we go.
Please join us next time in elevating the entire construction experience for workers, leaders, and companies coast to coast. If you're enjoying the show, please feel free to share with your construction colleagues and help us spread the word by rating, subscribing, and leaving a review on your preferred podcast listening platform. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you next time on the Elevate Construction Podcast.